guys just don't know. I don't know. I'm looking, yeah.
Marc Clarke, that's classic. I love it.
Bootsy Vegas.
Oh, wow. And you did not dress up for the day.
I know. I'm celebrating the new job, baby.
You could tell Negroes when they got put on, boy. They start acting immediately. They switch up everything.
Also, our hot water is not working. Our hot water heater went out. Ooh. And so I went to the gym and took a shower and didn't get back in time. So, okay, that's the real truth. Okay, Bootsy. Okay, Bootsy Vegas.
Hey, the great thing is you got a new job to pay for the new one, buddy.
All right. Won't he do it?
Won't he pay for it? Won't he pay for it? I'm sorry.
Won't he pay for it? And I see Alan J. Merritt. Let me just say what's up to Alan J. Merritt. You say, Bootsy, who's Alan J. Merritt?
I'm sorry, Mark, who's Alan J. Merritt?
The year was 1999/2000.
Shout out to Juvenile.
The Big Fat Morning Show arrived. Marc Clarke, Troy Johnson, Marva. We arrive and brand new city, brand new job, brand new show. Alan was one of the first people I ever met. Alan was talking about this thing called a website. He was talking about this thing called
.com
internet. You know what I'm saying? Alan J. Merritt single-handedly put on most of all the DJs at 92Q. I'm talking about built a website for free.
We've been living happily ever after since.
I've been owing Alan all these years. Alan, I love you like a brother. He is my brother. Alan videotaped my wedding.
Oh, wow.
For free.
Ooh.
On the strength.
Oh.
Alan's from New York. When I went to New York, Alan, had lunch with his lovely woman. At every turn, Alan has been there. And just like today, as I start a new journey, Alan J. Merritt was the first person to hop on. Come on. So I salute you, Alan. I love you. And
Alan, he finally has the money to pay you for doing his wedding. Come on, pay my man.
And
get your restitution. Get your restitution. I'm sorry.
Alan has been, and again, Bootsy, today we celebrate. I do have a new gig. I'm going to be I accepted the position as host of Baltimore, Be More lifestyle host at Fox 45 in Baltimore. So I am now officially a full-time television host. As you know, Bootsy, I was a temporary, my contract said temp in DC.
Boy, not in out, baby.
But what a blessing, Bootsy. You just like Alan, always there for me, encouraging me. Sandra Persall, Sandra, always there, giving me great advice, encouraging me. Everybody, Miranda, Deidre, Jordan, we just met in a sense, but same thing. I can't shout at everybody, but I'm shouting at everybody because the theme is support, Bootsy. The theme today is support. And I just want to let everybody know, I'm not taking that support for granted. Reinventing Marc Clarke, all those who joined me on the journey. I was on that treadmill every day and they were there with me. And as things changed, I faded a little bit, but again, support. And rarely, Bootsy, I don't know about you. I know, but I think you're the same, but I know we got each other's back. People I think a lot of black men do not have support. A lot of black men don't have support. And when you talk about from other brothers,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All my black male friends seen me cry, got my back, and it's no problem. I never have ever had to think twice about sharing my vulnerabilities with but guys in my circle.
And Mark, that's such a key question. I mean, a key point, because I was just telling one of my friends this as well, is that everybody needs to have that one or two persons that they can call to probably talk them off the ledge or give them some positive reinforcement or some enlightenment on whatever the situation is. Sometimes we underestimate the value of that, and we underestimate how many people do not have that. And I think just in general, everybody needs to know who is in your phone. Like, who is that person you can call? Like, everybody needs one of those people, one of those types of persons. So I think it's just a testament to who you attract as well. But man, this is amazing. And I think a celebration is one thing, but just in general about me and you, let me just give you this little tidbit. I was trying to figure a way out to tell you that my broadcast journalism program summer starts Monday, and my time schedule was changing. And I was thinking, how was I going to tell Mark that we're going to have to change the times? And then voila, you went and changed it for me by getting a new job. So I don't even have to tell you that.
Well, and the thing, so Bootsy, and again, the good news is, yes, the show goes on. People are like, oh, is it over? Allison said even last night. So no, what Bootsy and I will do, we're going to do it like we were doing it live. We're going to do it like the podcast format where we record a show and we have a new show every Wednesday. So every day at
Bing
10
bong.
o'clock.
Bing bong.
Every day at 10 a.m., the show still will be on, but we'll record a fresh show, a new one will post every Wednesday. And just added, Bootsy, did I send you the link? Just added, there's also the companion podcast, which y'all know about, the Marc and Bootsy experience. So it really will be the audio version of the show. And so that's just another angle. And again, I put that out there. So for those who can't watch, you can check out the audio version. And again, catch us when you can. Like you said, God's timing. Allison talked about that. What's up, Jordan from the NO? Man, let me tell you something, Jordan. I know Jordan, you know, of course, St. Aug, the famous school there. Shout out to Stan Barrett. I did mornings in Charleston with Stan Barrett, but Stan Barrett and the Barrett family from New Orleans, they all went to St. Aug. And I never forget the first time I drove to New Orleans. And
drive that way.
Stan, you know, New Orleans is a special city. We all know that. So it's Mardi Gras, Bootsy, and it's the middle of the day. And this was back when hip hop, you know, stations were still playing hip hop at night, but only in New Orleans. And here's the moment, Bootsy. Have you driven to New Orleans before? You've been on that big ass bridge?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't drive myself, but Earth, Wind, and Fire played there at least 4 times a year. Trust me, my 2 favorite places is Miami and New Orleans. Continue the story, sir.
And so, so when I'm coming over the bridge, Boots, it's noon. And again, this is back when they weren't really, radio stations really weren't playing rap. They were playing it at night, but not in New Orleans, because their radio station was broadcasting live from New Orleans. And then I heard it, Bootsy. Where they at, y'all? Where they at, y'all? Where they at, y'all? Where they at, y'all? Shake it like a salt shaker. It's noon. It's noon. And that to me will always be New Orleans.
How about it, man? And here's the thing about, and let me tell you the thing about New Orleans for me. So I had never been to New Orleans. I'd heard so much about Mardi Gras and just how it was. The thing that moved me the most is that, like in DC, you got hot dog vendors. They had alcohol vendor stands. I just could not believe that I could just walk down the street thinking I could order some food, and then I know this is strictly for alcohol. Like, that was mind blowing that they had alcohol vendors or street vendors that you could just walk up and get alcohol and keep walking. I said, man, this is a different place here.
Bootsy, John Royster says, what up, E?
Okay, hold on. That is DJ Big John. That Bama be cranking from 93.9. He's probably the long, besides him and DJ Rico, the 2 longest serving go-go DJs on radio. What up, DJ Big John, who is now a pastor as well. So congratulations,
come on,
to John
he knows whether he can dig in the crates and dig in the Bible at the same damn time.
Man. We did and the thing about John, we did a show last Friday with the legendary Junkyard Band, and in the middle of at halftime, he goes into a slow jam karaoke set. And we had the whole place rocking. So shout out to DJ Big John. That band will be cranking.
Shout out to my cousin Valencia.
Yes.
As we know, Vivi, who, if there were videotapes back in the day.
Oh, wow.
When we used to play. You want to talk about how you want to talk about gender? This is Bootsy. We are from a generation. We want to talk about gender roles, right? So we're playing as little kids. So I'm the boy over my cousin's house.
Okay, the boy. Okay, I got you.
We're playing as little kids. Now, back then, Bootsy, we didn't have these video games. We would play. Now, all of us had long hair, Bootsy.
Ooh.
Some of this long hair.
You actually had hair at one time, Mark? Well, I'm sorry, continue.
Right. Well, no. Well, I did, but not a whole bunch of hair, because back then when you're a kid, you used to put on your hair. It might be a towel.
Ooh.
It might be some drawers.
Oh, this is some real role playing right here. Okay, I got you.
Bootsy, it might be some drawers. So here we are playing, because everybody got to have long hair, because that's what we saw on television.
Yeah.
Now, talk about gender roles. Of course, my cousin Lisa was always a secretary.
Oh.
I was always a construction worker. Bootsy, with either the drawers on my head or the towel, I'm a construction worker. But my cousin Valencia was the coldest one of all. She had us beat, Bootsy.
Wow.
You know what she was?
Who's that?
Valencia, aka Vivi, aka Slick V.
Oh, wow.
Was a spy.
A spy secretary.
She was a spy. Her sister was a secretary. She was a Slick V, the spy.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to my cousin Valencia,
wow,
who supported me all through this journey, the reinventing Marc Clarke, my whole life journey, all of it. So shout out to Samantha on here.
Samantha. Oh, Samantha.
Samantha on here. I see
Coach. This money.
We got Coach Roz on here.
Coach Roz.
Coach Roz and Dr. Green, they fit into our new discoveries on the show, right, Bootsy? We had a great time with them. We are now in their circle of influence, and they do stuff all the time. One of my favorite moments with Coach Roz was we did that vegan challenge, and of course,
month vegan challenge. Woo.
We had to get that shot from Coach Roz.
I'm Coach Roz, and I'm here with my Healing Shot Plus immunity booster, and it's just as simple as taking one shot a day, just one shot, 1 ounce a day for your immune system. That's it.
That's it.
Coach Roz and Dr. Green. Also, Bootsy, we discovered Bootsy's got not only he's the teacher, he's the Earth, Wind, and Fire legacy carrier.
That too. Yeah.
He's E. Come on now.
Vegas. Young Maurice White, the Rebirth too. That's why I tell everybody in the band to call me now.
Young Maurice White, the Rebirth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So man, are we Dave Anderson? We got to shout out Dave Anderson on the. Let me tell you something. Dave got on the weight loss journey and surpassed me already. I'm talking about he has lapped me. Okay.
Yes.
Dave, who pushes entrepreneurship, and of course is not a big fan of working for the man, but Dave did give me the green light, Bootsy. He said, "Okay, Mark, Dave, the new gig is I am the host." Look at Dave's down 155.6 pounds. Good gracious! Damn it, man.
The business weight bully. Come on, man.
Business bully takes no prisoners. I'm still stuck at around a 101, but it's still. Hey, I ain't mad. I ain't mad, Dave. So, Dave, the new position is I'm the host of Be More Lifestyle on Fox 45 in DC. Lifestyle show. Thank you, sir. Another one, Dave Anderson.
So Mark, can you explain to everybody exactly what that is for people who may not know what the show is, but now they have to tune in now because that's where they're gonna have to find you at or whatever? Can you break down exactly what that show is? Because I don't know if everybody has time to watch it all the time.
Yeah, well, so for those who got a chance to see me in DC, where I was on Great Day, Washington.
You can't even remember. You so far ahead from
It's a lifestyle show. It's a lifestyle show, and so on the show, you know, it has a sales perspective where we feature, you know, people who are, you know, doctors, real estate, but also entertainment and also community tie-in. So this experience is so exciting because it's on 11:30 every weekday on Fox 45 in Baltimore. For those who don't know, I did a top-rated morning show in Baltimore, Marc Clarke and the Big Fat Morning Show, for almost 10 years in Baltimore, and that's been almost 10 years ago. So now I get to come back to a very familiar city, a familiar station. Ironically, Bootsy, I was thinking that you never know. You never know. As Tony Baker, the comedian, says, I never knew. You never know who's watching you, and you never know where life's going to take you. And as Bootsy, we've talked about numerous times on our show, there is this circle of life. So you know, there was when Fox 45 launched in Baltimore, the Big Fat Morning Show, we did a live cut-in the morning with this new station that came to the market. Now back then, you know, nowadays it would just be like probably like a Zoom or a Instagram Live. We had a straight up transmitter set up to broadcast with the morning show live. So we launched the station with Big Fat Morning Show on 92Q. Then I had a short-lived TV show, Big Fat TV, that ran on there, and I also had a show, the Marc Clarke Show. So I know the many people who are still there at the station, and then ironically, Bootsy, this is where life's crazy. So when I had those shows back in the day, I got to know the people there, and Jimmy was the charismatic, you know, Bootsy, you work with these type of people who work in master control, who work behind the scenes, you know, cameras, audio, equipment. There's always somebody that has crazy personality, always super Baltimore, you know, he was Baltimore through and through. And Jimmy actually turned into Traffic Jimmy. He became a personality on the show and on the station. And sadly, Jimmy passed away just a few months ago. So now here I come, that timing, a familiar person in the market that could come in and maybe not replace Jimmy, but add that same kind of familiarity to the station. And
that be more comfort zone.
And let me tell you something. The Baltimore, what I love about Baltimore, and I love DC too. I will just say DC, as you know, Bootsy, DC's a lot. DC is hard to navigate. DC has so many crevices and corners. It's hard. You can't really put your arm around DC. It's like
because and the other thing is because it's constantly changing. That's the other thing.
And there's different sides. Baltimore is kind of easy to navigate. And because of that, when you're a personality in Baltimore, when you do, I think that you can really feel the connection. Like even now, 10 years later, I could walk down the street and somebody's going to say, hey, Marc Clarke, you know, so I'm excited about just coming back to that. And just to tell you how much, Bootsy, I'm sorry, as you know, super long with it. Just to tell you, just an example of the classic with Baltimore. So Jimmy passed away. And when I was there to interview this gentleman, probably in his mid 60s, early 70s, he just came to the station, Bootsy. He just came to the station to say his condolences. So he just walked up, you know, knocked on the door. Wow. I'm just here to say, Jimmy, I watched him every day and I miss him. I just want to. And so that's the kind of, you know what I mean? That's the kind of connection.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you some tough questions about this new situation. I think the story, and from my perspective, I think some things should be told or whatever. I would love to know, in your perspective, can you put the correlation and the connection between the Marc Clarke, reinventing Marc Clarke journey, weight loss surgery, and how it transferred here? Because I would love to ask you this question, and maybe it's an uncomfortable question, but hey, that's what we do here. How much of the weight loss you think made you more of an attractive candidate to attract this job here at the new lifestyle thing at the Channel 45 in Baltimore?
I think the look, you know, I think my cousin Charlene was hollering. She remembers that's my cousin, that's Vivi's sister. We're talking about wearing them drawers and them towels. But anyway, yeah, Bootsy, I think the whole said pillowcase here. Y'all know about that. Y'all know about that. I think the whole experience, Bootsy. So yes. I start the reinvention journey after losing that job at me and Allison in HUR.
Okay, pause. So when you started it, what was your initial mission when you created the reinvent Marc Clarke journey? Initially, what was the end game for you? What did you want to accomplish with that in the beginning?
So, you know, you're in this space where you never, you know, I'm in this space where I have this amazing wife. Thank you, Jesus. Allison has been at, you know, at a job our whole marriage. I followed her out here for that. And so she started at Fox there for over 20 years and then heads to, you know, Channel 9. So what happened was, as we arrived, the funny part is we arrive in, I follow Allison to the market and then I land at 92Q. And so at the time, you know, at 92Q, which was amazing, you know, Allison's, you know, at her job, I'm at my job. I'm the high earner. I'm in my field that I love, radio, right? And so all is well. And so then in 2008, when syndication comes, they decide to go a new direction. I'm now, so 2008, and everybody, you guys know the story, making over 300,000. 2009, I made like 25,000. And so, and that began kind of while Allison has been holding it down, that began my journey, you know, kind of Mr. Mom for 6 years, you know, had a gig here, gig there, New York, HUR, part-time. So, you know, you kind of, you're on this kind of roller coaster of life, which is great, you know? And then,
so Mark, so what part of what part was the hardest during that time? Because obviously you're used to being the breadwinner, you're used to being Marc Clarke or whatever. What was the most difficult part? Because I think it's cool to be open and honest and transparent from any man who could be in transition. What part was the most difficult for you to deal with until you got back as a man?
Well, to be honest, I think consciously, if I'm honest, I wasn't today. If I'm honest, because I'm not. Consciously, I think more people from the outside worried about me than I did consciously, from a standpoint of, you know, like being the breadwinner or having a job or your job being tied to who you are. All that stuff consciously really was not where I was. So it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, I don't have no job. Because to be honest, I had a super support group. My wife is super supportive. Her parents were super supportive. The community, everybody's supportive. And so I just focused on, okay, you know, advice for those who lose a job when you're at the house. Number one, you got to pick up, you got to get busy. You gotta do them kids' hair. You gotta get that breakfast ready. You gotta cook dinner. You can't be sitting around playing PlayStation while the wife is out grinding.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
And you got to take care of yourself. The irony was when I lost my job, I would lose weight because again, I can't just be sitting around eating snacks, you know. And men, let's keep it real. Keep that hair cut. Keep shaved up. Keep them damn nails together. Keep those get that teeth together, because all it takes is your wife to come home and look at you and be like, "Yeah,
what was that thinking? What was I thinking about?"
You know what I mean? And so consciously, I was not really like you said, Bootsy said, I wasn't going through it. And people were like, are you all right? You know, my mom, are you all right? Are you okay? Because my mom was looking at Allison like, girl, I understand. No. And so, but consciously I didn't, but subconsciously, let's keep it real, Bootsy.
Right.
Let's keep it real. Subconsciously, let's just say it affected me in the bedroom.
Okay, you don't got to get that. You don't got to get that descriptive.
I'm just saying. Let's keep it out there because I think that's important. Because I think what happens is we sometimes health-wise we're very obviously consciously how you feel, but subconsciously there's a river running underneath you. And I think you're right, Bootsy. Subconsciously, I think of course it has to affect you when you can't pay this bill and can't pay that bill and can't take your family out to dinner. And when your daughter goes to college, you can't give her $500 and say you did a great job. Subconsciously, it has to. And so that's something else, Bootsy. I think Sandra had a great point. She said, I think being on TV was in your subconscious mind. And I think you're right, Sandra. Troy, my partner from the Big Fat Morning Show, he segued to television. And people would always say, Mark, have you ever thought about television? And I would be like, wow. Roe versus Wade overturned. We got to come back to that.
Wow.
I always, I did, but I always would be like, not really. But so I wasn't really examining it. So anyway, I'm sorry, Bootsy. Okay, I'll get you caught up. So after the loss and not HUR, I think I was probably for the first time, I was angry about, because being in radio, you lose jobs, you gain jobs. My feelings were hurt because I knew everybody there, not the newer people as well. So my feelings were hurt because I felt at WHUR, it was family. And I think I was blindsided by the fact that they let us go. And like you said, back to the subconscious. And Allison always says, I don't have any high highs or low lows. But the reality was I lost my father-in-law, who I was a caregiver to. I lost my mother. We had this new gig at HUR, but I was heavier than I'd ever been because I gained weight, after that, Dad's passing. I think caregivers, you go through almost again, subconscious thing where at one point you were kind of working tooth and nail, taking care of somebody, then they're gone. And so, I gained, so the job's over. I'm frustrated. I'm the heaviest I've ever been. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to reset. And so reinventing Marc Clarke was the reset. Gucci, you said, what's the goal? The goal was,
what was the end game? Like initially, because obviously it is manifested to something else. But initially, because I think it's important that we set goals when we're in transition anyway. Sometimes the one time we do not set it is when we're in transition. But to me, the most amazing thing about you was you set a goal and it didn't make sense to everybody, but you had immediately set it. So when you set it in the midst of this amazing transition that was heartbreaking, what did you want to accomplish in the beginning?
I wanted to finally get myself together fit-wise. I've always been, I think one of the things that worked against me was, not worked against me, but I was comfortable. I was comfortable, meaning had a beautiful family life. I never felt bad. Even though at the highest weight, I never felt bad. I never physically felt bad. I was starting to, for the first time, not feel bad, but I started to I could tell, get winded, tie your shoe. Like I was starting to there and I was like, okay, Mark, doesn't make any sense. Also, I was always in the gym and stuff. So it wasn't like I was always, not fit, but
subconsciously you was putting yourself in environments where you could do that.
Yeah. But I wasn't, obviously I was out of control. So it's like, get your fitness back and and ask yourself, why do you lose blank weight and gain it back? You always lose 60 pounds. You always lose 40 pounds. You always lose this and you gain it back. Why? I figured out what it was. It was comfort. Okay. But anyway, so lose weight. And then I'm going to get this Marc Clarke media, F working for somebody. I'm getting this. I'm finally going to put some time into this Marc Clarke media. I'm going to, put some effort into this. I'm going to get some sponsors. I'm going to take it seriously and be consistent because Mark, you have a tendency to be inconsistent and I'm going to do it every day. And we're going to do this. And so that started the ball rolling. So then boom, I'm doing the treadmill, every day. And I started giving this positive message. And then the reinventing thing, I started to build this following. And it was about the workout, but it really was just about the message. I started to see it was about sharing a positive message. Yes, sir.
So at what point did you say this exercise regimen is not working? Some of this thing is not working. I need to take another measure, probably with this surgery. When did that day, like was it one particular day? Because this is a big part of the story, was the fact that even though you was doing it, you was giving these positive messages, people were on, you decided this was not good enough. When did that day happen, and what was it, one particular thing, and what was your mentally going into saying, okay, this is not working, I got to take this step now?
The first obstacle to it was the thought that I can do it myself. Because I have done it before, you know. I did a 60-day juice fast, lost 70 pounds. I did it, so I know what to do. But you know, it's almost like you're kind of lying to yourself. Also, I realized, Bootsy, about I started following a group on Facebook, the weight loss people. And the good news was they gave good insight. The bad news was I saw a lot of negativity from them. I saw for a lot of the people, it didn't matter what weight they were going to be. They were just going to be miserable people. You know what I mean? People like, I lost 120 pounds and I can't eat anything. You're like, okay. So anyway, so what I realized, Bootsy, was I wasn't a spring chicken. You know what I mean? The clock is ticking. Okay, Mark, you know what you
so
know.
You
what
thought that. So you thought that.
Yes.
In your mind, you thought the clock was ticking on what? Because I don't know if you're descriptive of that.
Because I think, again, you've lost weight before, you've gained weight before, you're not a spring chicken, you are in the danger zone. I know there was Bootsy, and I have finally crossed over with that 40-pound weight loss. I'd always been pre-diabetic, but I had crossed over into now I'm diabetic. And once you're diabetic, it's like being a drug addict. You're a diabetic. Even when you come back out, you're classified as diabetic. And so that kind of like, and again, my grandmother had both legs off. My mother had toe tips replaced and she was on insulin. I was like, okay, brother, you know, you know, and so that was, so I was like, okay. And then one of my friends who was influential, I was telling her I'm going to do it. And she talked me out of it from a standpoint of, she just confirmed what my concern was too. Like, you know how to do it. Don't do it that way. You can do it, da-da-da. But I finally decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so, and this is in the midst of, you know, working out and on the treadmill every day and positive message. I shared it with my reinventing crew, and I'm going to do it. And I have to admit, doing it, Bootsy, I have no regrets in doing it.
You know, were you okay? So tell me, what was the apprehension? I mean, mentally, you're going to have this surgery. What were your thoughts going into that day of the surgery? Because obviously that is a big step. And I don't know if people know the process. You have to have like, if I'm not mistaken, you have to have like counseling for this, right? You have to have like a consultation, a counseling. Tell everybody the process, Mark, please.
Yeah, you go through a process. You get evaluated by a psychiatrist to make sure that you have in perspective your decision is not rash and your expectations align with what's going to happen. They do the physical, you know, they check and see where you are physically, as far as can your body handle this? And also, of course, they check all your levels, your cholesterol, you know, are you hypertensive? Are you diabetic? Are you, your kidney function? They check, they do it like, you know, make sure you're okay, a good candidate. So I was a good candidate, and it's okay, Jordan, you can have grit, you from New Orleans. Was a good candidate. I decided to do it. I didn't have the fear. Dave and I talked about it. Dave, he said his biggest thing, he was scared of the surgery. I wasn't really afraid of the surgery. I wasn't scared of that. I just was like, I think it just made me almost like doing this drastic step in my mind said, okay, you ain't coming back from this, as far as you ain't gonna do this and then gain all the weight back.
Go back, yeah. So
it was almost like the skin in the game, making that huge sacrifice, and then also being public with it added the extra pressure to be like, all right, you know, and I think so. Then boom, I do that, and now, so now I'm kind of like I'm really in the zone now. So I'm you know, and then the TV opportunity comes up. I think Sandra was right. I think subconsciously I always wanted to do it, but subconsciously for some reason I wasn't going for it.
So after the weight loss surgery, subconsciously, did you think it was more feasible after that? Did that do something to your psyche to think more things will be coming, or you just thought this is for me to be more healthier?
It was really about me being more healthy.
Okay.
And I thought, you know, at the end of the day, I think whereas a lot of women have a bad view or less than view of themselves physically, I think men have a heightened view. Like I really wasn't seeing myself. You know what I mean? I think some men, we almost look, we think we look better than we do.
Right.
I didn't really see how big I looked or how big I was.
Wow.
And so now when I see pictures, I'm like, damn. Allison's like, damn, pictures. I didn't either.
I saw some pictures and I said the same thing. I looked like, ooh, like I didn't realize. I had actually saw, coming up on your memories or whatever. Okay, so now you're finally here. You did the weight loss. How long did it take for you to feel back to normal? Okay, like, so you had this surgery. There's a lot of things mentally that's going on. How long did it take for the mental and the physical to be back to a comfort zone for you? Because I think that is important too, because you already saying how on some Facebook groups, people were never happy no matter what they did. And I've known people that have had the weight loss surgery and still have not been happy. So just for you subconsciously, how long did it take for the mental and the physical to come together to make you this new reinvented Marc Clarke?
So I think the blessing for me is that and I've learned that it can be, what's up, Sandra? Consciousness is very important on our whole journey of life. Consciousness, how you look at things, how you think about things. I think the good news is there's a part of me that's a quote unquote realist. I don't use the term as much anymore because I think you make your reality. Your mind makes your reality. So, right. But I think my expectation, I'm the kind of person I think that I knew what the expectations were. I knew what, like you say, the drawbacks were. And then I knew that, okay, yes, you had the surgery, but when you look in the mirror, it's not going to be you ain't going to be, Denzel Washington. You're going to have loose flesh. You're going to have man boobs. You're going to have this going on, but you're going to be healthier and you're going to I accepted and accept and always have who I am. You know what I mean? And that took, you learn that in life, but loving who you are regardless, loving, I was in the gym the other day, the little, the skin and the veins and the whatever, that's you, love
right.
it, love it. And so right. My expectations, I think Bootsy matched pretty quickly.
Right.
They matched pretty quickly and go ahead.
No. So now you get to this point. You have done it. Shout out to everybody that's calling me E. For people out there, people in go-go world, they call me E. So let me give everybody this little thing. It's Bootsy Vegas and then it's E. Bootsy Vegas radio, E the go-go guy. Just for everybody that's out there listening, because people will call me that every day. Don used to say, "Why is everybody talking about E on my show?" Like I remember doing that. So now you have got to this point. It is now 2022, the beginning of the year. What is to you the biggest accomplishment you feel like you got from this reinventing Marc Clarke? Because the amazing thing is these results were not instant. There were a lot of things that was personally for you more of a victory. And sometimes the victory is not for the public. Sometimes it's for you. Personally, Marc Clarke, what has been the biggest victory of this reinventing Marc Clarke journey that you went on when you didn't have to do it in public?
Number one, the connection with the people. The blessing has been, I have a whole group of people, my reinventing crew, that I got a chance to get to know, right. that I became even closer to, that are my friends. That's one. Number two, the relationship with food. I think the biggest thing the surgery does, like Sandra said, the surgery is a tool. And for me, what it helped me do was understand my relationship with food. And it made me understand a couple things about myself. Some people are foodies. I think you said, are you a foodie? I think you said you're a foodie. Are you a foodie?
Me? No, yeah. I'm on a strict diet, as you know.
You're right. Like, that's right.
And the other thing is, every time this summer, I was diagnosed in 2017 with this. It's a trigger in me. I don't do food at all. So go ahead.
Okay, so right. So everybody, we have our relationships with food. I learned about myself. Most of my eating was really just, I'm not a foodie, and that some people be like, oh my God, I'm in a mood for some blah, 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 blah. You see, you're doing the nourishment part.
Yeah, I do the super vegan, I do smoothies in the morning and superfood oatmeal in the afternoon. I don't move off of it. I won't ever move off.
Yeah. Well, and so for me, relationship with food, that was the biggest thing. I realized I was a trigger eater. Most of this stuff I just eat because I'm bored. It wasn't like I'm like, ooh, I'm in the mood for this. And so my relationship with food, also my relationship with myself and how I look. That's one thing about TV.
Elaborate, please, on that. Hold on. Can you elaborate on that? That's a key point.
Yeah.
Elaborate with the relationship with yourself and how you look. Please elaborate on that.
You wonder. I used to wonder. We all have friends who, let's take it all the way back, Bootsy. in school, grade school, right? You have friends, some friends were always fly. They always dress fly. Not meaning, and this is different. Some people think having the latest designer is that I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about that person who made a decision that they're going to look a certain way and they're just going to be fly, you know? And I now understand that more, in that it's a decision, you know, everything is, you know, it's a decision to wear sweats every day. It's a decision to have frumpled tennis shoes on. Some people made the decision, I'm going to look this way. Now, some people say that kind of person may be pretentious. What I understand is that's not necessarily it. It's like people, they made the decision because people treat you differently based on that. And so the TV experience, what I've learned is that, like, I was in Baltimore for a fundraiser just the other day. And so many of the people hadn't seen me in quite some time. And I had my TV look on, Bootsy. You know, blue suit, funky glasses, you know, so it was kind of like the new Marc Clarke look.
The reinvented Marc Clarke. Go ahead. The reinvented Marc Clarke. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So people were like, "What? Did Allison dress you? Wow, Mark, you look, you know, you look healthy. Yeah, you look da. You know, it was what they were just adjusting to was it was a little different. You know, the old Mark, you know, 300+ pound Mark. I was always stylish. I had on a damn Robert Graham $200 shirt with some jeans, you know, but I didn't have a suit jacket on. You know what I mean? And again, I was always conscious of my look, but it just made me really, just like with food, it made me really understand the positive aspects, you know, the positive aspects, or just the aspects of all the stuff that we do, the moves we make in life, the way we think. It's almost like what's intentional mindfulness, right? Mindfulness on everything.
Right.
And I think as you get older, when it comes to your look and your health, the mindfulness kicks in, because as we get older, just like an old car, your body starts to. So whereas before, I laugh, when I was in New York, I had this great conversation with this fine honey who was a buyer for this clothing place. Allison, I just talked to her, but we had this conversation about flossing, right? And I laughed because she was saying, if you don't floss, then you have bad hygiene. And I said, no, that's not true, because I wasn't a flosser, right? I digress. I wasn't a flosser. I was like, no, some people never were flossers and never were introduced to it, blah, 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 blah. Now, a few years later, for whatever reason, Bootsy, when I eat food, it all just stuck in my teeth. Like, if I look in the mirror,
she showed you. This fine honey showed you.
You know what I mean? I was like, damn. And now I'm like, now I'm obsessive. But I'm sorry, I digress. What I'm saying is, when you're younger and your teeth are white, or you're this is that, and your skin is soft and you're this and that, you ain't really tripping because nature got you. When you get to a certain age, it ain't the case. You have to consciously get your hair. When you're a man of a certain age and you don't shave and that gray comes out and people be like, what's up, grandpa? You got to, you know, shaving, taking care of your teeth, taking care of your physicals, taking care of your levels, you know, knowing your blood pressure, knowing your weight. You're intentional about, you become more intentional if you want to look a certain way.
Let me ask you this question, because this one I forgot to ask this question. Post surgery, can you let everybody know what is your normal diet now? Because I don't think people understand that when you do people don't understand the correlation of if you're a foodie and you're a eater, you're a sight eater or whatever. Can you explain to everybody the transition of what your diet is now? Because I see you posting this stuff or whatever. Can you break down your daily regimen as your diet post surgery?
So we say relationship to food. So in the past, you know, and it's almost like how you're raised. I'd have a couple, you know, two or three eggs, 2 or 3 pieces of bacon, you know, two pieces of toast with jelly and butter, you know, your coffee. You know, it's almost like you almost like you're eating, you know, and you're not even thinking about it. Like,
because we have been told that's what a normal standard breakfast is, without even knowing the ramifications of it health-wise. Continue, Mr. Clarke.
And so then when you have the surgery, you go, oh, what's up, Mario? Damn, Mario Wayne. St. Louis in the building, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. Love you, bro. So you have the surgery, and at first you can't eat nothing, right?
For how long? You can't eat nothing?
Oh, probably definitely the first 2.5, 3 months. As far as, there's very little space. Your stomach is the size of a sleeve. They made your stomach 1/3 the size of what it was. So they took away 2/3 of your stomach. So you have a third left, a sleeve left. So, you go from, so now you have, you see me post, I have an egg, or I have a piece of bacon and an egg, or I have one piece of toast. And so now here's the setup though, as Sandra says. The setup, Bootsy, is the longer you get away from the surgery, the more you can eat. So if you haven't changed your habits, so you asked me my normal will be a protein shake, and then a couple hours later, I'll then have that maybe oatmeal, or if it's, if I'm gonna have breakfast, it'll be like you said, an egg and one piece of toast, or bacon and one piece of toast and coffee. So it's like you're not eating that. You're not eating
huge.
Yeah, that huge portion.
Four course
reality
meal.
is, you're after a piece of bacon. Bacon is seductive. Breakfast can be seductive. Wings are seductive. A lot of times you're really done, but you're going to finish off your plate because you're just taught that way. Like, just think when you're at the bar. So the thing about the surgery, the sleeve, not the bariatric, which is a little different. So back in the day when you go out to eat, right? They bring you that 32 ounces drink. You drink all that. You might even have another one before the meal comes. Then you have an appetizer. Then you have the meal. All that food. Now I can't drink all that. I can't. It's a decision. You're gonna have a little sip and then have your meal. You're not gonna. So it makes you physically have to deal with it. And then now at this point, now you got to make sure you're locked in, because before where I could just have one wing, now I could have 4 wings. But why? You know what I mean? So now my typical days, protein shake, or for breakfast, oatmeal, or a piece of egg, or a piece of toast. Wow. Lunch will be salad, sometimes with protein, sometimes not. I'm kind of like, really, I don't do a whole bunch of animal protein anymore.
Okay.
I try to just kind of, because in my mind, the digestion of that, I will treat myself. But again, it's not going to be, I haven't had a steak yet. I have had lamb though, salmon. So it's really just a
moderation, small portions,
right? Portion control.
Okay, so once again, everybody, we're celebrating Marc's new job. For everybody that may be just turning in, Marc, can you please let them know the amazing announcement that you made earlier about what is happening in your life as we move forward with the Marc Clarke media situation?
Brand new job alert. I start on Monday. I won't be on air on Monday, but I start on Monday. Fox 45 Baltimore, Be More Lifestyle Show, 11:30 every morning, every weekday morning. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Great to be back in Baltimore. Bootsy, and I want to talk about, I'm in my basement. And we talk about laws of attraction.
No hot water. With no hot water. Go ahead.
No hot water, a flooded basement. Our water heater broke.
Woo.
So I'm in my basement, and we talk about laws of attraction. We talk about attracting things to us. I have my vision board. It's a vision board, but it's really just, I just write down my thoughts or write down my desires. And I really do think that's so important. And I'm just, a lot of this stuff, so I'm just going to read randomly what I've written down. And again, why not? Why not you? Why not me?
That is the key.
Why not, dream? Why not put it out there? What are you putting in your, are you stuck in, I can't pay this, I can't pay that so much that you can't dream?
Speak on it, because you do become your thoughts, whether you know it or not. Subconsciously or consciously, you do become your thoughts. You know what I mean? And there are 2 types of people in the world. There's a person that think that he can, and there's a person that think that he can't, and both of them are right. You need to decide who you're going to be as soon as possible. Continue.
And I just, I say I like to scream it from the mountaintops, because I'm living proof. It happens. And
I'm living proof.
You're living proof. And you're living. And so this is, and again, when you, like you mentioned earlier, Bootsy, when you're in the valley, when them bank accounts are overdrawn and bills are due, and you're so stressed out, and you can't really, and it's bleak.
You don't know how you're gonna make a way. You don't know how you're gonna make a way.
That's when you have to write. You have to go hard. You gotta think about it every day. You gotta multiple times a day. You gotta put that thought work in.
Though. Absolutely, because to be clear, you do have to condition your mental being as well. And I tell everybody this: some of the great pieces of advice that I ever got was Maurice White told me, the same way people condition their body to look a certain way, you have to condition your mind to think a certain way. And I think these mental exercises, these positive reinforcement, these vision boards that you're talking about right now and planning, even though you don't believe it, it will subconsciously lead you somewhere to a better place. And do not underestimate or undervalue the importance of that. You know what I mean? Of having a vision, having a plan. The greatest thing that I did when I was in my lowest form of cancer, when I had a death date, when I had my death date, I planned a trip 2 weeks afterward. I had a mountain trip planned on my board. I booked it. I had it ready. I knew the date. Every day I was telling everybody, hey, don't forget, we going on this mountain trip to the cabins. You know what I mean? Like, and I think sometimes people don't realize how small that was. While the doctors was thinking about whatever it was they thought was going to happen, I was thinking about my trip. And as small as that may seem, that was so significant and huge to me that I had plans out for that summer, this in between what the treatment was going to be.
And again, don't and blow it up. Don't make it small. So Vision 2022, $10 million earned Big Fat Love Foundation.
Okay, pause.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, Paul. How close are you to the 10 million? We need to know that right now.
It's here already. It's here already. I just have to get access to it.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Bootsy. Vision 2022. You ready? The first one? I didn't even notice this. Bootsy, the first one, full-time TV hosting. I didn't even notice it, Bootsy.
Wow.
So I'm in arrears because I need to be looking at this every day, but it was on there. I gotta start looking at this every day. Wow. Complete real estate class. Weight goal 185.
What are you now? Hold up, pause. What are you now?
Well, I'm not there yet.
Give on. We can't have all the victories today. We can't have all the victories. I got you.
Continue to build MCM. Marc Clarke Media, $5 million evaluation.
Oh wow.
Marc Clarke.
How close are we to that?
Marc Clarke Premium Eyewear. Marc Clarke Premium Menswear. Marc Clarke Jewelry. Suit, shirts, slacks, socks.
Jesus.
Wannabe series. Wannabe vegan. Wannabe vegetarian. Wannabe fit. Own media studio, 50%. I put here, my wife has allowed me to live like a king. The Marc Clarke Communication School. Literacy, math, radio, TV, broadcasting, coding, IT, gaming.
Wow.
Signed contract, full-time, daytime TV host, 300,000 plus.
Oh, wow. Man, we got to that.
LA job, 3-year contract.
We don't want LA. Hey, erase that, please. Erase that before Allison see it. Because she specified that yesterday about you not having to leave. So erase that. You
Why
got
not?
that. Look, erase LA, please.
Full-time TV hosting. So again, write it down. Write it down. I mean, again, because what happens is you'll lose it. Bills will take you out. Bills will take your consciousness because, bills, kids, house, hot water heater, leaks. Now the basement's flooded and the AC went out. So you can get caught up and be like, what was I thinking about? And so reset. So yeah, man, Bootsy, again, this has been an amazing journey,
man.
And it's and everybody, and the thing about it is, I think people will be like, I'm anointed. Everybody's anointed. We all are. But like I said, Bootsy, we don't know it. We don't use it. We don't think it.
We don't manifest it. We don't manifest it.
We don't manifest.
We don't speak it. We don't speak it. Let me tell you what I spoke. Let me tell you an unknown fact about Marc Clarke. to me. So I've been a fan.
Uh-oh. Is Bootsy locked up or is it just me? Bootsy? Is Bootsy locked up? Oh, Lord. I can't tell if you guys can see Bootsy or not. Let's see. Bootsy's frozen. So we'll come back to Bootsy. I'm sure he'll have to reset. When you're frozen and don't know you're frozen. He's checking back in. Oh my goodness. What did I have over here? Oh, this was from the Kanye West show that I played. But I just thought about his mom. I thought about that person in your life. And what I loved about this, one of my favorite moments from our show with this Kanye West, was the mother, his relationships. This is before the album was going to drop. He's thinking about it. But how she reinforced her love and reinforced her support and reinforced what she thought about him as a genius. She was just like, son, you're so talented. So let's reflect on this if you guys missed this one. This is from the Yeezus movie that's on Netflix. But I love the interaction with and the belief that his mom had, and you understand now that she's gone, his challenge.
Get your damn hands up. I was like, Mom, we about to blow up. You better blow up.
Oh, you know the one I used to always try to get you to do, Kanye, and you never did it, was that I walked through the halls of the school, and it's cool to be known by many for my rapping ability, but what about the... But now you're not walking down the halls, you're talking about college dropout.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a title or not. I told you that they're doing it. You did first on me on MTV, right?
You told me you were going to try to get it.
They said they're doing it.
They are?
They're going to use some of this footage for it.
All right, that's good, Kanye. This is so exciting, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah, can you believe it?
I can believe it the way you are. Somebody got to do it. You play tracks like Michael Jordan shoots free throws. Anybody does something that much and that long and it's that good, it's got to pay off. Can't go there and do nothing but blow up. Yeah. Isn't that fun? Yeah. The main thing is getting to do something that you really love to do. Right. But you know what, I was thinking about something I was going to say to you, Kanye, that I thought was important. How you were down to earth and everything, but you know you got a lot of confidence. Come off a little arrogant even though you're humble and everything. But it'd be important to remember that the giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing. You know what I mean?
So do you think I come off too arrogant?
No, come off just right. It's because it's what's inside. Because you can't be a star and not be a star. You gotta have some oomph about you. You don't want to just go saying, "Oh, I'm just really not all that," but thank you anyway. Nothing like that. I'm not saying come off like that. I think the way you handle yourself is really just perfect. But at the same time, if you remember, like, to stay on the ground, and you can be in the air all at the same time. That's what I would think it means when it says the giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing. Everybody else sees the giant. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, just a reminder, when you have that kind of support, what a blessing it is. Hey, Bootsy's back.
Yes,
and,
on the phone, sir.
And so, Bootsy, you were getting ready to see they don't want us to win. Bootsy, you're getting ready to share something.
Yeah, I was saying how I manifested this relationship and mentorship that I've developed with you. You know, as growing up, I was a huge fan. I used to I don't know how I started listening to you, but I end up listening to you because everything that I wanted to be, I felt like you was, because you were intelligent, articulate, and you was doing those funny songs. How I got on radio was just doing funny songs, and then it manifested into what people consider a journalist now. And, you know, I tried hard, as we talked about, for me to be on the show with you and Allison. Every day I would listen to you guys and talk along as if I was on the show with y'all. Every day I waited for the phone call to come. I had so many conversations that y'all didn't know about with them about y'all show. Then I ended up having conversations with you that they didn't know that we was having. So just to really have this mentorship, this relationship, and just being able to learn so much. But and Samantha, if she's on here, she's probably going to tell y'all this, is that I listened every day. Like one day, me and Marc Clarke are going to do some type of media together. The first time I ever had a real conversation with Allison, I think, Allison, it's really nice to meet you. We got so many mutual friends. But when can I meet Marc Clarke? Like, do I get to meet, can you introduce me to Marc? I remember the second time we met, you was in New York. And man, I hope I don't get no trouble with this. She was like, yeah, he's coming home. So you'll have plenty of time to meet him because this New York thing is about to be over. Marc will be coming home soon. Don't worry about it. I'm going to introduce y'all. And y'all going to have plenty of time to hang out and meet. And it was so funny because she did say 100. She was like, oh, he's coming home. This is going to be over soon. Like, but it has been so great to really, I'm a better journalist because I'm around you. I'm a better father because I'm around you. I'm a better facilitator because I'm around you. I'm a better instructor because I'm around you. Everything about you is really about love, mentorship, and it's not by accident that you have attracted this. Like I've told you before, I could have never been as open and transparent as you were in this journey, because whether people realize it or not, you were at the lowest, bro. You was in, it was the bottom, and to see somebody get up every day and manifest this is almost unreal. Me and Samantha have talked about this without you, that, man, we just can't believe that we're witnessing this. You know what I mean? Like this journey, but you are so deserving. Man, God don't make no mistakes, bro. Like you so deserve this, bro. Like I've never seen a manifestation and attracting. People say preparation and opportunity meets in the middle. And your preparation for this, my brother, has met in the middle to get this opportunity. You're going to kill it. And be clear, as God will have it, you have to start a new job on Monday. And be clear, we didn't plan this 87 episodes or whatever, how many episodes it's been. Literally on Monday, we both have our time schedules changing at the exact same time.
Come on now.
I'm like, how is this happening? Like, literally, we both start a new situation that's going to change lives start Monday at the same exact time. And you know what?
Oh, Lord. There he is.
Yeah, my phone is ringing. Everybody, it's normal, everybody calling my phone. But, man, thank you so much for allowing me to go on these 87 episodes. Thank you for letting me go on this ride. And just thank you for your patience and just to help developing me. You know what I mean? But let me say this last thing, bro. Let me say this too. Thank you for allowing me to drag you and your wife and Deanwood Radio Broadcast Journalism Program. Obviously, we're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it every day because, everything is still, we still getting it. There's a whole lot of things to talk about, but for you allow me to inject myself in your family and your wife time, knowing y'all got 3 daughters, says the type of guy that you are. I don't know many guys who allow a guy to call their wife and text their wife in the middle of the night on behalf of children like you. Everybody, if other people was married to Allison Seymour, they would probably say, man, tell that nigga to stop calling you and texting you this time of the night for them damn kids. So, and bro, I know we laughing, but I thank you for that as well, bro, because, we had a situation and we have literally changed the course of 2 people's lives, Timmy Teo and Ayana Carter. And I don't, like literally, we're going to see them off in a few weeks. So, man, just thank you for everything, man. Like, really, thank you, because I'm a better person now. I'm a better everything because of that. And thank you for allowing me to inject myself in your wife's business as well. So, really.
Well, Bootsy, I can't be said better than that, brother. I love you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part, and thank everybody who's watching now or later on. Thank you for the support. It's always been about or it's been about hopefully sending a message out there that you know, resonates and gets somebody to believe. Because it's like, man, I was just, you know, I'm from Springfield. I was a kid who wanted to do this, and I'm doing it and still doing it. And that's why I just want to share with the world, man. It can happen for me. It can happen for you. I was talking to a friend of mine, Gary Officer, and he said, I stole this from him. He said it best. And Bootsy, I thought about what happens with our show, because you always comment about the show, how our show turns, kind of goes in this, turns in a different direction.
Right.
But it's always the direction of love. And I think, again, I've been blessed to be around or be a part of shows, the Big Fat Morning Show, all the shows I've been a part of. Really, not only me, but the people around me had the same philosophy, in that we wanted to make and want to make a change in a positive way. That's why I'm so excited about going back to Baltimore on television, because it's an opportunity to do the same, right? And so a friend of mine, Gary, said this, and I told him I'll steal it, because he, you know, he's from the UK, so he's got, you know, he has a great way with words. And I was just like, man, you said it exactly, Bootsy. And I think, you know, this is what it is, Bootsy. You always say, well, we end up getting this direction. He said, because we are all about capturing people's better angels. That's it. Right? That's it. That's what it is. We're about capturing people's better angels, their humanity. And so with that, Bootsy, we got to record for my show for next week. So I'll holler at you. Thank you, everybody. Be blessed. Let's have a great weekend, everybody.